Hello everyone, welcome to today's session. How is everyone doing today? Hello guys, good morning. Welcome to the session. I hope everyone's doing good. I hope you're refreshed. I hope you're fresh to start with today's journey, guys, because today's workshop is a must watch workshop. Okay, because in this workshop, guys, I'm sure that generally आप लोग para jumble का workshop, let's say para jumble का workshop देखते हो, para jumble के concepts देखते हो, या odd one out के concepts देखते हो, या para summary के concepts देखते हो, या एसेंस ऑफ द टेक्स्ट के कॉन्सेप्ट्स देखते हो, कभी क्रिटिकल रीजनिंग के कॉन्सेप्ट्स देखते हैं, पर वो अलग अलग वीडियोस में होते हैं या अलग अलग क्लासेस में होते हैं. तो दिस इज द फर्स्ट टाइम दैट आई एम डूइंग दिस एंड this is the first time that you will find all the important concepts of VARC in one single video. Okay, all the important concepts, right? So jitna bhi basics hai, basics we're going to cover in today's video. So hello everyone. Hi Raghav, hello Nomad, Anuj, Ravi, Prabhat, Adya, Nupur, Rahul, Kashish, Ankita, Shubham, Dinesh, Saili, everyone. Welcome to the session, guys. Come on, let's get started. So first, let's have a look at what's in store for us today. Okay, now there are some very important questions that come in the mind of any student when it comes to the VRC section. Okay, and these are some of the frequently asked questions that students have asked me. Hi Surajit, hello Shreyansh, hi Anshul, hello Rainbow Box, hi Prisha, hi Amit, welcome to the session. So for instance, the first question is, what is the difference between an author's position? So guys, please feel free to answer. Okay, do you know the difference between author's position, para summary and essence of the text? Okay, this is a very important question because earlier it was called as a para summary question, then later it was called as a para, essence of the text question, and then nowadays it's, in the last 2 or 3 years, it's being called as the author's position question. This is again one important, difference that students need to know, and how the questions are framed differently, or what are the parameters, or what should they remember when answering each of the 3 question types. Then, do you know the 8 bases to find an odd one out? Generally, when you look at an odd one out question, what students think is, okay, there are 4 sentences given, there are 5 sentences given, we'll just look at the keywords, and any sentence which does not give us that keyword becomes our odd one out. No, that is not the way you answer an odd one out question, and that came as a shock to a lot of students who gave the CAT 2017 examination, क्योंकि वहां से ये पैटर्न चेंज हुआ था. आप सिर्फ सेंटेंसेस को एक बार पढ़कर या कीवर्ड्स के बेसिस पे you cannot find an odd one out. There are 8 ways, or there are 8 bases to find an odd one out, and do you know that? Third, when it comes to para jumbles, a lot of students, what are the tricks, what are the techniques? We're not getting the subsets right, we're not getting the opener right. कभी कभी एक 2-3 की जगह 3-2 आ जाता है, so little bit of mismatch always happens. Why? Because you're not managing the language clues and the logical clues. So when I say language clues, guys, it's not just nouns and pronouns. There are very subtle language clues. Even punctuations, if for instance, play a role, right? Even a semicolon is important. Even a dash is important. Even a quotation is important. Every single word is important when it comes to a para jumble, and they are very subtle hidden language clues which will help you get your right answer. There are a lot of logic. Sometimes we don't find any single language clue. Then what do? What are the logical clues, or what are the logical indicators that we need to focus on? Then FIJ. Okay, not a very frequently asked question, but it's important to know what are facts, inferences, and judgment, and how do you distinguish between the 3? Okay. Exactly, Anuj. So we'll answer all of those questions. Then when it comes to critical reasoning, a lot of times students do not know the difference between an assumption, an inference, or a conclusion. You just read the question stem and you think that everything means what do you understand from the passage. Whether it's an imply or an infer, you treat it in the same manner. You're not supposed to do that. An imply is very different. The approach is very different from an infer. The reason why a lot of students don't get accuracy in reading comprehension is because they do not understand the question stem carefully. What is the question stem asking of you? If true, last year क्या variation आ गया था? Last 2 years में if false. Which of the following if false would strengthen or weaken? Right, so you have to look at the variations. Then what is the difference between weakening of an argument and flaw in reasoning? So these are some very important questions which as a student of VRC you need to know the answer to, because they make a world of difference when you're answering the questions. What are the different types of fallacies? Okay, all exactly, Rahul. So what are the different types of fallacies? First of all, a lot of students don't even know what is a fallacy. Okay, what is a slippery slope fallacy? What is a bandwagon fallacy? What is an ad hominem? Which do these come in the, like, lot of students don't even know these terms. Do they come in the examination? Yes, they do. Okay, they come in a lot of, हमारा जो ओमेट्स होता है उसमें आपको fallacies पे question पूछे जाते हैं. Okay, and in any way you need to be prepared. What is inductive reasoning? What is deductive reasoning? Okay, these are very frequently asked snap and zat questions. Was this induction or was it deduction? So we'll discuss the different types of fallacies as well. Then when it comes to root words, now I'm not going to take vocabulary in this session because guys time limitation here. I'll explain Prisha. So fallacy basically means a flaw. Okay, so they'll give you a flawed statement जिसमें कोई error है, कोई mistake है, and they will ask you उस statement में क्या type का error है या क्या type का mistake है. That's called as a fallacy. So options में जो words आते हैं like ad hominem fallacy, red herring fallacy, slippery slope fallacy, bandwagon fallacy. You need to know the meanings of these options in order to be able to answer the question. Okay, good morning guys. Then RPS technique. How do you vocabulary को क्या करना है? कैसे how do you go about vocabulary? What are the important vocabulary topics? Right? And then the importance of grammar. For example, guys, I'll ask you a simple question. Can you tell me the difference between in spite and despite? Come on. What is the difference between in spite and despite? Anyone? In spite and despite. Come on, it's a very basic grammar question, guys. What is the difference between in spite and despite? Chalo, batao. There are 75 people in the class and I want all the 75 of you to answer. What is the difference between in spite and despite? No, as a grammar question, what is the difference? It's a grammar question. What's the difference between, like, if I say what's the difference between and among, you will say, ma'am, between is for two people, among is for more than two people. No. It's a very basic difference, guys. It's to do with the sentence structure. In spite bhi fir bhi hai. Come on, think. You're like going about it in the wrong direction. It's not so much to do with the meaning. Meaning-wise, in spite and despite are similar. To do with the sentence structure, very easy. You know this. We've done it several times. Come on. Frame a sentence with in spite. Chalo. Chalo Nupur. Everyone. Amit, Rajat, frame a sentence with in spite. Come on, type in a sentence with in spite. Chalo. No. Guys, the basic difference is in spite takes the preposition of, despite does not take the preposition of. In spite of studying hard, very good RD, wonderful. In spite of studying hard, excellent Prisha. In spite of studying hard, he failed. Despite studying hard, he failed. That's all. Okay, it's a very simple difference and you all know it, but you need to put it into perspective. Correct, you were thinking in terms of meaning. So that's why I told you, don't think in terms of meaning, think in terms of sentence structure. Okay, chalo, next one. Then the different types of tone and what is the subtle difference between the different types of tone. And today we are also going to do different types of styles of passages. जैसे speculative क्या होता है, informative क्या होता है, descriptive क्या होता है, analytical क्या होता है, argumentative क्या होता है, different types of tone क्या होते हैं, severely negative tones कौन से होते हैं, moderately negative tones कौन से होते हैं, positive tones कौन से होते हैं, neutral tones कौन से होते हैं. So आज के session में you'll get a revision of all the basic concepts. Your basics will be cleared, okay, in today's session. Now, so this is what we're going to attempt today. Today's class, guys, we're going to have a look at different types of RC questions, critical reasoning, 8 important types of critical reasoning questions. We're going to have a look at the rules of odd one out. We're going to have look at the rules of para jumbles, para summary, essence of the text, author's position, para completion, FIJs, different types of fallacies. ठीक है, हम लोग जितना coverage हो सके, we will try and do it today. Okay, so that's a very interesting question, Rahul. So questions जो है आज के क्लास के questions, रुको, I'll come to it. आज के क्लास के जो questions है, okay, based on what we have, talked about and revised, and okay, so we're gonna start with, we're gonna have special class में quiz, guys. Okay, so we're gonna test. I'm gonna test you because we've done questions. Sorry, we've done the concepts, so it's very important to take a test. Okay, so today we're gonna have special class में I'm gonna take up the questions and we're gonna have poll. Okay, हम लोग उसको एक test के तौर पे करेंगे. So it'll be almost a test of, we'll try and make it a test of 1 hour. So I'm going to divide it into 2 parts. Okay, so we'll have 2 special classes, guys. Special class 1 and special class 2. In special class 1 for 60 minutes. Okay, in special class 1, I'll tell you the timing. In special class 1 for 60 minutes, I will take you through questions. Okay, so you will get a volley of questions. आपको RC questions आएंगे, CR questions आएंगे, para jumbles आएंगे, odd one out आएंगे, poll करेंगे हम लोग. Okay, and then in session 2, which will be right after it, I will give you, we will discuss and we will understand the questions. Explanation होगा, especially in especially the questions that you've got wrong, or especially the questions that you find tough. And don't worry, this is going to be CAT level. Okay, of course, Mayank, what are you asking? Of course, you should join the session. So guys, this is going to be at 2 p.m. Okay, today at 2 p.m. and the explanation wala session is going to be at 3 p.m. Okay guys, so 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. ये concept level है राहुल. So this session we're going to do concepts. ठीक है, फिर एक घंटे का, I'll try to wind up the session by about 12:30. Then at 2 p.m. we meet for a special class. Special class are free live classes on the Unacademy learning app. The first special class we will discuss questions, poll, question, test. 60 minutes live leaderboard, and then we follow it up with the explanation in the second class. Okay, so guys, today आज 5 p.m. वाला YouTube session नहीं होगा. हाँ, done. Okay, so guys, got it? Okay, so it's going to be good VRC practice till today 4 p.m. ये 1 hour के sessions होंगे. So no Neha, actually it's already scheduled. Okay, so उस कारण, right? I'll remember your preference for the next time. Okay, chalo guys, let's get started. I hope all of you are ready, guys. Let's start off with, correct, exactly, Dhruv. So that's a new rule. So it's okay. आप अगर नहीं access कर पा रहे हो, let's say you're a free subscriber, हाँ 60 minutes का access रहता है, then you can watch the explanation वाला का recording आप देख सकते हैं. Okay, let's say tomorrow you can have a look at the explanation वाला session का recording. Okay, got it guys? Clear with this? Okay. Hi Pooja, welcome to the session. Okay guys, let's get started. First one, para jumbles. Okay, now para jumble is a very important topic, and it is one of those topics जो CAT students को इसमें बहुत confusion होती है. They never let it go. They always try and practice it a lot. Okay. Hi Shan, welcome to the session. वो हो गया नितिश, कल we finished ना? I think we took it up. I'm not sure. We took it up, right? We finished the 50 must know words. Good morning. Welcome to the session. Okay, so right guys, let's come to this. So when you talk about para jumbles, you basically get sentences in a mixed manner and you have to arrange it in the right order. Okay, that is basically what a para jumble question is, right? So what happens with this topic is there's a lot of ego issue which comes in. What is an ego issue which comes in? This is one topic which students try out a lot. This is also one topic in which students don't get that much accuracy, and they try and try and they try and they try to perfect it a lot, and that is why, because you've spent so much time on it during your preparation, you also want to hold on to it. Yes, Sadaf, there's a para-based question course going on plus. You want to hold on to it in the examination and you just don't want to let it go. Okay, and the main challenge that comes in para jumble now is that it has become a theta type question. So you do not get options. Okay, you get a box in which you have to enter the right combination. So even if you go wrong anywhere, your entire mark goes out. So even if 2-3 के जगह 3-2 आ गया, okay, 3-2 के जगह 2-3 आ गया, so that will become very वो थोड़ा सा चुप जाता है. So it's theta type. You don't get options. You have to type in the right combination in the box. Next, but the best part about it is, and why students want to attempt it so much, is if you get it right, you get +3, and there is no negative marking. Okay, तो इसमें negative marking नहीं होता है, and if you get it right, you get +3, otherwise 0. So there's no negative marking when it comes to this question. Now, let's understand what para jumble is. Now, in order to get a para jumble question right, it has to be a balance or a trade-off between two important parameters. You have to focus on a language and you have to focus on logic. So these are like, like you have a beam balance, you have a taraju. These are two sides of it. So you have to focus on language and you have to focus on logic, and you have to balance the two. Even if you falter in correct, so even if you falter, या आपका एक भी parameter छूट जाता है, let's say language छूट जाता है, logic छूट जाता है, then it becomes a problem. The next thing is the right approach. Okay, a lot of students do not know the right approach to solve a para jumble question. What they do is they always try to find out the opener first, and that's again where they go wrong. ठीक है, तो कभी कभी opener नहीं मिलता है, it's okay, then what do you do? How do you build subsets? What's the right approach? What's the time to be given? What is the exit time? So we are going to discuss all of this when it comes to para jumble. So are you ready, guys? Let's get started. So importance of para jumbles, you get 2 to 3 questions out of para jumbles, and it is also a very important topic because it helps us crack sentence odd one out questions as well. So odd one out maybe it really helps you out, because in odd one out also we have to find out subsets. Now there are two things to remember here. One is logic and the other one is language. So there is logical analysis and there is language analysis. When it comes to logical analysis, you have to understand what is the normal para flow, and it helps you with the formation of subsets. Language analysis means we focus on grammar and we focus on the key language indicators or the words. Right, so let's start with we start off with logic, guys. Now, when it comes to para flows, there are essentially 4 important types of para flows. Now, what you have to remember is a para jumble question is ultimately taken from an article. So, it is written by an author, and any author would write an article to help the readers understand. There are two purposes. They won't purposely confuse you. They are going to follow, vocabulary plays a major role, and they're going to follow language conventions. For example, if I'm an author और आई एम अ राइटर एंड आई एम राइटिंग एन एडिटोरियल, मैं उसको इतना कंफ्यूजिंग स्ट्रक्चर नहीं बनाऊंगी कि मेरे रीडर को समझ में नहीं आई. I will have twin goals. What are the twin goals? The first goal is कि I have to make it attractive to the reader. So I might have a catchy opener. I might have, especially newspapers, I might have a catchy opener. I might have a dummy opener. I might have a broad statement. I might have a general opener. And my second purpose is for readers to understand. I want to make it logically coherent for them. So I will follow a logical structure also. So generally, the articles from which these questions are taken follow any of these 4 flows or any of these 4 structures. These structures are important because they help you to select the opener, and they also help you to build subsets and understand what the flow of the paragraph should be. Let's get started with this. First one, general essay type. Almost 70 to 75% of the articles which are written are of the general essay type. What do you mean by general essay type? In general essay type, what happens is the author starts with a general statement. a statement which is the broadest statement, or it introduces the concept, or it introduces the subject. Now, whenever I take a para-jumble question with you, I always tell you, see guys, this statement gives us the context. See guys, this is a general opener. Okay, see guys, this is broad. See everyone, this starts off with a dummy opener, and then it comes, okay, it has a dummy opener, or it starts off with a general opener and then it comes to the topic in the same sentence. Generally, these statements are the opening statements. Now let's understand them. Context. Now guys, a lot of you must have heard these terms. Okay, this is within context, this is out of context. But not a lot of you know what context is. But my regular students will tell me. I'll explain all of these. Okay, my regular students have to tell me, guys, what do you mean by the word context? Come on. Concept is the topic. Right, concept is the topic. Context is basically two things, guys. Place and time. So a sentence which generally gives us the place, the time, or the setting of a para jumble. No, the explanation is not the context. No, the topic is the concept. Okay, the topic is concept. For example, guys, I'll give you an example. Let us say, if I say that in India, okay, in the year 1991, the LPG movement, okay, liberalization, privatization, globalization, it expanded on the scene. Okay, now let us say it expanded on the scene. Now let us say that this is the sentence. Now in this sentence, you have to understand that it's a combination of context and concept. Now India over here is the context. 1991 is the context. It gives us the setting, or it gives us the backdrop. तो प्लेस यहाँ पे इंडिया है, टाइम यहाँ पे 1991 है, ये हमको हमारा सेटिंग बताता है या बैकड्रॉप बताता है. फॉर एग्जांपल, जब आप मूवीज भी देखते हो तो मूवीज के जो स्टार्टिंग सीन्स क्या होते हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल स्टार्टिंग सीन्स क्या होते हैं कि इस एक छोटे से गांव में, इस जमाने में, इस सदी में कोई रहता, यू नो, दे फर्स्ट इंट्रोड्यूस द एंटायर कॉन्टेक्स्ट टू यू, क्योंकि दिस इज द विलेज, or this is the city, and this is the time, and this is the year that they are talking about. You know, they introduce the context to us. So that's what context is. And the concept over here is this, that LPG expanded. This is the topic of the passage. Did you understand this? Correct. It's the backdrop. It's the setup. So this is basically the difference between context and concept. So generally, the author setting हमेशा पहले करते हैं, right? So setting, backdrop, सेटिंग वो पहले दिखाते हैं आपको कि कहाँ का है, किसका है, कौन से जमाने का है, कौन से ईयर का है, कौन से प्लेस का है, व्हाट इज द टॉपिक. करेक्ट. So generally our opener is the one that introduces the context and or the concept. Did you understand this? It introduces the context and it introduces the concept. Next, it is a general statement or it is a broad statement. Now, what do you mean by general statement or broad statement? General and broad statement does not mean it's the lengthiest statement. नहीं. General और broad का मतलब होता है it is broad in terms of context or it is broad in terms of concept. Broad in terms of context means what? Let's say there is one statement which talks about, let's say there is one statement which talks about the world, and there's another statement which talks about India. Contextually, world is broader than India. Okay, there is one statement which talks about the last 100 years and there's another statement which talks about the last 10 years. Contextually, last 100 years is broader than last 10 years. Okay, so that is the first thing. Okay, did all of you understand this? Till here? Okay, so you start with the statement 100 years वाला opener हो जाएगा. तो broad in terms of context या concept, जो हमको concept introduce करवाता है. फिर बाद में you can follow it up with the explanation, you can follow it up with the details, you can give examples. Okay, or next one, dummy opener. What is a dummy opener? Okay, now I'll give you an example of what is a dummy opener. Now let us say that there is a passage. Okay, now the main passage is to talk about the relationship between a king and his subjects. Okay, so let us say that there is a, correct, I'll give you an example. Let us say that the entire passage is about the relationship between king and his subjects. Okay, but there is one statement which talks about कि just as a parent, the relationship between a parent and a child. Okay, so there are 4 statements which talk about the relationship between king and subjects, and there's one statement which talks about the relationship between parent and child, and the author wants to say that just as a parent treats his or her child, similarly a king also treats his or her subjects. Now, do you understand that this is a dummy opener? This is not the real topic. The real intention of the author is not to talk about the relationship between a parent and a child. The real intention of the author is to talk about the relationship between a king and his subjects. But to come to the topic of king and subjects, or to explain the topic better, the author starts with a dummy opener or an analogy, okay, or a comparison, something to introduce the topic, and then he comes to the main point. So that becomes a dummy opener. A dummy opener is basically, that's not the real concept of the passage. वो हमारा main topic नहीं है, but that brings us to the main topic. That is taking us to the main topic, or that is bringing us to the main topic. Clear with this till here? Correct. Drawing parallels, yeah, you know, that's not the main topic, but घूम घुमाकर author फिर मुद्दे पे आ जाता है. Now, sometimes the author starts with a general opener, then comes to the topic. For example, one of the biggest or one of the most important movements that ever, so अनुज यहाँ पे opener parent और child वाला आएगा, तो पहले parent and child का dummy opener देकर फिर author king and subjects के topic पे आता है. But see, I'm not saying कि हमेशा ऐसे होता है. This is logical, but ultimately language clues will decide the order. Ultimately जो है language clues decide the order. Okay, now sometimes the author say one of the biggest movements to have ever hit India is the LPG movement. So one of the biggest, मतलब इतने सारे movements है, उसमें से आज author is going to talk about the LPG movement. So one of the biggest, so you start with a broad opener, a very general statement, and then you come to the topic. So generally, these are the logical ways in which an opener is framed in the case of a general essay type question. Did all of you understand this? Clear with this, guys? Did you follow it? Yes, okay, followed it. Very good. Next one. So, global recession impact on India automobile sector. So, global India automobile. Okay, so you're going from broad, narrow, narrow. वैसे जा रहे हो आप. Okay, so that's called as a general essay type. Next one, personal essay type. Good. Hi, Abhishek. Okay, now please go through personal essay type. Okay, next one, personal essay type. Okay, what do you mean by personal essay type? This is the opposite of general essay type. Now, what happens in personal essay type is you start with a personal issue. This is very rare though. You start with a personal issue, then you highlight the social significance, then you end on a general note. तो इसमें क्या होता है, जनरल ऐसे टाइप में we started with a general statement. Here you start with a micro statement. You start with a personal example and then you highlight, for example, you say recently on my train journey. Okay, so recently on my train journey, I noticed so and so. And then you say this is not just on this train journey, in train journeys across the country, this happens. You know, you start with a personal anecdote or a personal experience and then uska, you know, you take up the mudda or then you explain it in a general way. Got it? Did all of you understand this? Correct. Self to social. Very good. For example, let's say you talk about, okay, recently when you went on a trip to a beach, you found that the beaches were not managed properly, or there were no coast guards, or there was a problem of safety. And then you say that, you know, this is not just a case of in this beach. This is a case across the coast or across the beaches in the country, and there is a need to take action. So you start with a personal issue, you start with a personal observation, and then you highlight the broader issue. Okay, so that's the personal essay type. The easiest without a doubt is the comparative essay type. If you get comparative essay type, guys, you're in luck. But generally देते नहीं है क्योंकि बहुत easy हो जाता है. Comparative essay type basically means the author, you know, compares two things. For example, if you're comparing two types of cars, let's say you're comparing a BMW with a Mercedes. Okay, now if I ask you to do a comparison and to write an essay, what will you do? In the opening sentence आप बोलोगे, okay, you know, BMW और Mercedes को introduce करोगे, फिर उनके relative merits और demerits बताओगे, फिर अपने analysis और result और judgment पे पहुंचोगे. So this is a flow. You have to understand कि logically पहले sentence कौन सा आएगा जिसमें introduction हो, second statement, third statement कौन सा आएगा जिसमें merits and demerits हो. Okay. थर्ड स्टेटमेंट कौन सा आएगा, या लास्ट में क्या आएगा, लास्ट में कंक्लूजन आएगा, या लास्ट में रिजल्ट ऑफ द कंपैरिजन आएगा. ओके, सो डिड यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस? So that's basically what is being compared: merits and demerits, result and judgment. Okay. Right. So now what you have to understand but here is, let's say there are two statements. One talks about the merits of BMW. One talks about the merits of Mercedes. Now you feel that both the statements, you know, आप confused हो कि A B लगाओ या B A लगाओ. फिर हमेशा याद रखना guys कि opening sentence में जो order है, for example, if in the opening sentence they mention BMW first, then the author is going to talk about or compare or mention the relative merits and demerits of BMW first. On the other hand, if the author has mentioned Mercedes first, then yeah, first come, first serve. Exactly. So according to the order in the opening sentence. Exactly, Akshansh. Good, Mayank. Okay. So for example, if it's a comparison between traditional farming and organic farming, the author will list, first sentence will introduce what's traditional farming and organic farming. Then you mention the relative merits and demerits, and then you arrive at a judgment as to which is better. Generally, if traditional farming is mentioned first in the paragraph, in the opening sentence, the author would start with talking about the merits and demerits of traditional farming first, and then he would come to organic farming. So always remember, according to the order in the opening sentence. According to the order in the opening sentence. Yes, yes, Jitin. Okay, next one, narrative type. Again, a favorite. Narrative type is basically a story. So this is very easy to arrange. What you have to do is you have to arrange according to the sequence of events. For example, पहले ये हुआ, फिर वो हुआ, फिर ये हुआ, फिर ऐसे हुआ, फिर वैसे हुआ. It goes about in the form of a story. Okay, or it can follow chronological order. It can follow time sequence. Okay, like for example, we have guys, please make sure to watch the 200 para jumble series that I have done. In that series, basically, we've taken every type of para jumble possible. Whether it's general essay type, whether it's personal essay type, whether it's comparative type and narrative type. This is a series that I've completed on special classes. So please make sure that you go through it. We've solved 200 para jumble questions. Those of you who've been through that series with me, do you remember we discussed a passage about the Zuri Kumarakom resort by the Tata group? You remember it was first a baker, you know, it was first the baker's bungalow, and then the land was sold to Kerala Tourism, and then it was acquired by Tata, and then they built Zuri Kumarakom, and then they've added a lake and more cottages to it. So it starts with a chronological order of events. So these kinds of passages are very easy to arrange. You either follow logical sequence, like we've done logical sequence wale, इसमें भी challenging आ सकते हैं. Like for example, if you remember, we did a paragraph where Pratik, special classes on the Unacademy learning app. In that, I've done a series of 200 plus. You will see that 200 para-based questions. वो आपको मिलेगा. Okay, special classes, Unacademy learning app. Go to my profile and you will find it. You will find the link in the description of the video. Okay, so but इसमें थोड़े tricky भी आ सकते हैं. Like वो एक हमने किया था gout वाला, वो एक हमने किया था telephone ring करने वाला. That the telephone was ringing and there was a throbbing in his head and so on and so forth. तो ये narrative type जो है वो एक story structure follow करता है. Correct. Okay, correct. We did the I spend. You were talking about the ruins of a particular city, right? Correct, Rahul. Okay, next one. So now logical sequence. Now this is something, guys, that I've repeated so many times. You say that you know it, but I don't really see you all following it. Vocabulary made easy. I'll address that also in this session, but just to tell you, since you've asked this question, I've done a series on YouTube which is called Vocabulary Made Easy. You can just Google it also. Vocabulary Made Easy by Ritu Dhudhoria, or you will find it in the playlist of this section. Trust me, that will really help you out. Okay, just go through that series. Okay, guys, I will give you a minute. Please go through these logical sequence indicators and then we'll discuss their relevance. Come on, I give you a minute. Please go through this because not a lot of you go through this or remember this, and I see you making errors. So I just want you to take a minute to go through this. Come on, everyone. Come on, guys. I'll explain. Rhetorical. Okay. Now, so generally you start off with a problem and then comes the solution. See, so suppose there's one statement. Yes, it is Ashish, it's good. So let's say you start off with one statement which gives you almost हर रोज होती है सहेली. Okay, problem and solution. Now, the author starts off with a problem and then so if there's one statement which is a problem statement and there's another statement which is a solution statement, you know that the problem statement has to come before the solution. Similarly, you know the question has to come before an answer. Now, इसमें अब मैंने क्या देखा है गलती. See, when I solve many questions with you and when you also solve many questions, you will notice that where generally, where is it that you generally make mistakes. Yesterday I noticed one error, so I'm going to talk to you about it. Those who were there in yesterday's class, you will agree. Do you remember, guys, yesterday we did a para jumble, okay, where there was, there are 5 sentences. Okay, one sentence had a question in it. There was another sentence also which had a question in it. And there was one sentence which said the answer is, okay, let's say yes or no. Now what students thought was that is question, first question का answer 3 है, fifth question का answer कहाँ है? Now it is not necessary for every individual question there's a separate answer. Maybe the answer asks 2 or 3 pertinent questions. For example, I also started, na? Yeah, both questions can have the same answer. For example, at the beginning of the session, I started with do you know? Do you know the difference between para summary and author's position? Do you know the difference, 8 bases for odd one out? Do you know the rules for para jumbles? And I say, okay, the answer to all of these questions is today's video. So the author can ask a series of related questions in the beginning and then he can give the answer. Got it? Did all of you understand this? Clear with this? So it's not necessarily, one problem, one solution, second problem, second solution. The author can give a lot of problem statements and then give a general solution to it. The author can ask a lot of question statements and then give an answer to it. Similarly, it could also be that there is one question but different people's answer to it. So he starts off with one question and then he says Aristotle's answer to this was, Plato's answer to this was, Socrates' answer to this was, Epicurus' answer to this was. He can quote different people as well. Okay, did all of you understand this? Yep, okay. Now, exception to this is a rhetorical question. A rhetorical, see, the word rhetorical means persuasive speech. A rhetorical question is a question for which there is no answer or an answer is not required because the answer is implied. For example, let's say someone enters the class, usually Ishan, okay. So Ishan enters the class late, let's say he enters the class at 10:30. I ask Ishan, do you know what time it is? So when I say, Ishan, do you know what time it is? I don't want Ishan to tell me, ma'am, the time is 10 a.m. or the time is 10:30 a.m. It's a question, but the answer to that, it is a question, but the answer to that is something that I'm not expecting from Ishan. What I'm implying is, Ishan, you're late. I am implying that Ishan, you're late. So rhetorical question is a question for which an answer like yes or no, 10 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. is not required. इसमें आंसर छुपा हुआ होता है. So rhetorical question generally या तो opening में आता है या तो conclusion में आता है. Got it? हाँ, good ईशान. देखो rhetorical question का असर देखो. It's meant to persuade the reader to think on the lines of what the speaker means. Okay, clear with this? Done. Then the author might give a lot of data. Now you have a lot of misconceptions, guys, when it comes to para jumbles. Let's like burst some bubbles and let's debunk certain myths. First is, especially I've heard Nupur say this a lot in classes and and many other students as well. कि generally a conception form हो जाता है कि statistics या data जो है हमेशा opener होगा या question जो है हमेशा start में आएगा या cause जो है वो हमेशा start में आएगा. See, there are no hard and fast rules. It's not like data has to come in the beginning or statistics has to come in the beginning. And it's not like ma'am 10 है इसमें तो ये last statement है. Not necessary. I felt like it's the opener. Correct. That's something that I get very commonly too. It feels like the opener. It feels like the conclusion. There's nothing, no feeling here. It has to be based on analysis. Okay. Yet से शुरू नहीं कर सकते, but से शुरू नहीं कर सकते. ऐसे generally students को लगता है. हाँ, देख के लगा कि ये कंक्लूजन है, देख के अच्छा लगा, देख के लगा कि ये ऑड वन आउट है. ऐसे कुछ नहीं होता. It's not that way. So please debunk these myths. Then story, model, past, present, future. It can also go present. See guys, जो logic है ना वो subjective होता है. For example, Rahul's logic may be different from Surajit's may be different from Akshara's may be different from Jitin's. But general conventions ये है, ultimately language का भारी role है. So language clues are more important. It's okay, Anuj, if you don't. They always tell you, if there are 2 or 3 statements which look like the opener, do not select one. Don't select the opener. कोई बात नहीं. Build subsets. Opener automatically मिल जाएगा. Good morning, Prachi. Guys, voice echo हो रहा है क्या? Okay. Let's go to the next one now. Guys, language analysis. Please pay attention to these language clues. There are certain important language clues. Before I take you through these now, let's do a little bit of troubleshooting. Okay, what are the different topics जिसमें language clues है? Okay, so guys, what are the different language clues? Generally, the language clues comes about in these areas. Okay, आपको language clues मिलेंगे nouns में, pronouns में, okay, abbreviations में, verbs या tenses में, very important adjectives में, उससे भी ज़्यादा important conjunctions, okay, even articles, and also language clues आपको important मिलेंगे punctuation. Okay, so let's understand each of these. Okay, please make a note of it, guys. Basically 10 language clues indicators important हो सकते हैं. Nouns में आपको क्या याद रखना है कि पहले noun आता है. Okay, I'm going to explain these. Okay, and then I'll take you through the PPT. See, generally we put the noun first and then we put the pronoun. Okay, for example, I will mention Rahul Khandelwal and then I will say he. I say Ritu Dhudhoria, then I say she. I say Nupur Gupta, then I say she. Okay, noun comes before the pronoun. But always remember that English is full of exceptions. So हर general rule का exception भी होता है. Now sometimes what the author can do is for effect. Generally effect, ये expectations क्यों आते हैं? For a dramatic effect. For a dramatic effect. Okay. Now for instance. Correct, Surajit. Okay, generally for effects. For example, the author might start by saying that he was an exceptional writer. His English, his usage of words has become a part of standard written English. His plays still resonate with us today. Even today, his plays are relevant. He is none other than William Shakespeare. So here I might, first say he, his, and then the big revelation. The big revelation is William Shakespeare. Correct. Award shows में जैसे होता है. Exactly, Rahul. Did all of you understand this? Everyone, did you get it, guys? So this is an exception. Hello, welcome to the session. Okay, guys, so this is an exception. Then, the noun comes before pronoun. This was the exception. Now, please make sure, guys. Now, one more misconception is, one more thing, guys, here is कि आप पहले क्या लगाओगे? So, our first point that we discussed is noun comes before pronoun. Okay, then we also had a look at the exception, which was the exception. Why did this exception come about? This exception came about for effect. Okay, now second cheese. You put the full name. Okay, कल इसमें किसने गलती की थी? कल इसमें नमन ने गलती की थी. Right? Do you remember this, Naman, and others also? There was a passage which had Steve Jobs and the other statement said Jobs. You cannot start with Jobs first until you mention Steve Jobs. So पहले full name आएगा, फिर name आएगा, and then you will have the pronoun. Full name, name, and then pronoun. But Steve Jobs. Full name, pronoun, and then again you can have the name. Now ऐसा कोई rule नहीं है कि after mentioning he or the name of the person you cannot mention the name again. आप बोल सकते हो Steve Jobs, he, Jobs, Steve, correct, in yesterday's PJ question. Now please make sure to link singular noun with singular pronoun, singular noun with singular pronoun, and plural noun with plural pronoun. Okay, but guys, you understand all of this, but you end up making mistakes. Like remember the other day, I don't know, Surajit, we discussed this and you kind of realized and we pointed it out also. Ki there was this one statement which says this area. Remember, and we linked it to the, I think, some prefrontal cortex or some other cortex of the brain. Right, and there was another statement which spoke about 2 or 3 areas of the brain. So I said it's this area, it is singular. So you have to link it with a statement which gives us one area. You remember that? If it's this, it's singular. If it's a singular pronoun, you link it with a singular noun. If it's a plural pronoun, let's say if it says these, if it's a plural pronoun, correct, the neural wala question. If this is a plural pronoun, you link it with a plural noun. So please remember this point as well, the brain central one, correct. Next one. Fourth point, abbreviation. Correct. Abbreviation, guys. Please make sure that you first put the full form and then you put the short form. Again, these choti cheeze, guys, they'll make or break your PJ. Pehle, let's say full form aega. Okay, let us say any full form. Okay, I learned one from you yesterday, right? For example, what was that? Greatest of all time, and then you will say GOAT. So पहले full form आता है and फिर short form आता है. So these are certain important rules. Then when it comes to articles, guys, for example, एक ही इसमें किया है a book has broken all records. A book has been launched which has broken all records. Then the author says the book has been written by, let's say, J.K. Rowling. So you know that if you're referring to the same noun and you're using the article a, and in another statement you're using the article the book is specific. A book is a general opener. So you start with a book and then you come to the book. But इसका ये मतलब नहीं है कि जिस sentence में भी a है वो opener हो जाएगा और the opener नहीं हो सकता. I'm not saying that. अगर एक ही चीज के लिए दो articles use हुए for the same thing, if one sentence says a book has been launched which has broken all records, the next statement says the book is written by J.K. Rowling, you know that a book has to come before the book. Okay, got it, guys? Correct. So that is the rule that you have to remember for article. Okay, you will put the general article first and then you will put the definite article the, if it refers to the same noun. Okay, this is the point that you need to remember when it comes to articles. Okay, tenses. Now tenses will help you with chronological order. So जब tenses होता है तो हमको टाइम फ्रेम के हिसाब से या chronology establish करने के लिए past, present, future देखने के लिए tense का use होता है. Okay, abbreviation section. So abbreviation सहेली पहले full form आएगा फिर short form आएगा. Let's say there's one statement which says United Nations and there's another statement which says UN. United Nations will come before UN. Full form, United Nations full form will come before short form. Got it? Did you understand this? Tenses will help you to establish chronology. Try and link similar tense wale sentences together. Okay. Now adjectives. In the last couple of days, we've done a lot of questions where we used adjectives a lot. For example, there was one statement which says a less surprising thing is. Okay. Now for example, there are two sentences. Wait, I'll tell you about the adjectives. But before that, guys, let me remind all of you today 2 special classes, 2 p.m. and the other one at 3 p.m. Be ready for the 2 p.m. class. There'll be quiz, there'll be poll, there'll be a test, there'll be a quiz on all the important concepts. And at 3 p.m. what we'll discuss is, we will discuss the explanation to this. Okay. So please make sure, guys, that all of you join special classes. Special classes are free live classes which happen on the Unacademy Learning app. All you have to do is apply the code Ritu MBA and enroll. Okay, so guys, adjectives. Let's understand the point about adjectives. So first we put the positive degree, then we put the comparative degree, and then we put the superlative degree. So if there are two statements, one says consumers have little difficulty in adjusting to the new age of better products. And there's another statement which says governments find change harder. Harder is a comparative degree of adjective. You will immediately ask yourself the question, harder than, governments find change harder, harder than whom? So they find consumers से ज़्यादा governments को दिक्कत होती है. Consumers को इतनी दिक्कत नहीं होती है, governments को और ज़्यादा दिक्कत होती है. So the order will be A, B. Consumers don't have difficulty, positive degree. Governments find it harder, comparative degree. So first positive degree and then comparative degree. Always follow language. Language में contradiction नहीं होगा मयंक. वो एब्सोल्यूट रूल्स है. लॉजिक में सब्जेक्टिव हो सकता है, बट ऑलवेज फॉलो लैंग्वेज क्लूज. Like for me, if the word however connects contradictory sentences together, for you also it will connect contradictory sentences together, and for the author also it will connect contradictory sentences together, because these are absolute rules or these are absolute logical language clues. Language में इतना झोल नहीं होता. Got it? Did all of you understand this? Then it's very important to focus on conjunctions and a lot of words which are used as indicators. For example, introduction generally general hota hai. Conclusion. See, it's not necessary that हर time thus therefore वाले sentence last में चिपका दो. नहीं, this is a conclusion of a subset, not necessarily the conclusion of the whole para. Okay, one thing you have to remember. Comparison, similarly, likewise, moreover, they will connect similar sentences together. On the one hand, on the other hand, but, yet, however, in spite, despite, nevertheless, they connect contradictory sentences together. And guys, but can start a para, because can start a para, yet can also start a para. For example, yet another achievement for ISRO. And then you explain what that achievement is. So please don't keep any of these myths in mind. Okay, so please focus on subtle language clues. In fact, clearly, छोटे language clues make a lot of difference. Okay, did all of you understand this? So please make sure that you focus a lot on language indicators. Then, please, in order to form subsets, start linking similar ideas or similar words. I would generally not say link similar words together कि इसमें ये word है, इसमें भी ये word है, तो दोनों sentence को साथ में डाल दो. No, link similar ideas together. Build subsets. Idioms, proverbs, general quotations, they generally, all of this is, they can be exceptions, guys, but they generally come towards the beginning or the clear. Did all of you understand this? Now, it is very important, guys, to also focus on punctuations. Certain punctuations cause an effect. For example, Neha, if one statement says that the Ganga that I don't remember. One statement says, let's say, a massive flood has occurred, and then the other statement says loss of life and property. So first you give the cause and then you mention the effect. As simple as that. Okay. Now, what would be the important punctuations? Generally, the punctuations which are important is the question mark, the quotation, the dash, and the semicolon. Okay, these make a difference. If there's a question, try to search for its answer or see if it's a rhetorical question. If they've used quotations, okay, for example, one statement says, let's say, we did yesterday, right? For example, one statement says truth serums. कल ही किया था हमने in quotations, and the other statement just says truth serum. Okay, now this is in quotation, means here the term has been introduced. So the quotation one will come before the non-quotation one. Because here the two statements have been, the term has been introduced and hence it's in quotation. Generally, when this long dash is provided, that generally gives you the meaning or the definition. Okay, for example, if there's a passage which says, okay, it is a truism that nowadays for investigation purposes, truth serums, okay, drugs which, affect the brain in such a way that the person starts speaking the truth, ये dash के अंदर है, are used. So that means that ये हमको truth serum का meaning या definition या explanation देता है. So this will also generally come towards the beginning. Generally, I'm using generally with all my statements because there can always be exceptions. Semicolon also sometimes indicates a shift in idea, and this ये मैं आपको अभी इतना नहीं बता सकती क्योंकि इसके different uses होते हैं. We have discussed this in, when we do questions, we've come across the usage of semicolon. We'll continue with it. Okay, so हम लोग जब और questions try करेंगे जहाँ पे semicolon आएगा, I'll explain. This is usually used to introduce a new idea. Okay, or a slight change in the idea. Got it? So please make sure that you focus a lot on punctuations as well. So guys, any doubts with para jumbles ke basics? Clear? Can't believe we've taken 1 hour just for para jumbles. I think this concept class will have to be done in 2 parts. Probably Monday ko ek aur part rakh lenge. But I don't want to go about in a hurried manner. I want to do justice to the entire process. Started a little late, Rahul. It's 1 hour 2 minutes into the session. Okay, good discussion. But come on, guys. अब थोड़े छोटे topics है, but don't worry. So now coming to odd one out, please go through this list. I will take a 30 seconds break. I'm here itself, but एक बार voice को 30 seconds का break देती हूँ. तब तक आप ये पढ़ो. चलो, odd one out. हाँ, कल we'll not have a session क्योंकि कल AIMT है, All India Mock Test. Our next session will be on Monday. Guys, don't forget to give the All India mock test tomorrow at 12. 12 to 2 है, फिर उसका analysis आप देख सकते हो. Come on guys, please go through this. आप पढ़ो and I'll rest my voice for 30 seconds. Come on. Good through. Come on everyone. Yes, of course you can. Amit, the link to the All India mock test is in the description. You can start by clicking on that link and enrolling. You will be asked to enter a code. Make sure that you enter the code Ritu MBA, RITU MBA. Okay, let's come to this, guys. Odd one out basis. Now, generally what students think is कि odd one out is just basic odd one out. कि आप statements पढ़ो, इसमें let's say apple है, apple है, apple है, apple है, और एक statement is about oranges. तो orange हमारा odd one out हो जाता है just because it does not have a keyword. You know, students say कि मैम इन 4 सेंटेंस में truth serum, truth serum, truth serum, truth serum है, इस सेंटेंस में truth serum नहीं है, so this is the odd one out. That is not the way in which you answer an odd one out question. ऐसे पहले होता था, पर आजकल जो है सारे statements linked रहते हैं. Now, in order to understand odd one out, it's very important to understand how an odd one out question can be framed. Now, what a paper setter will do is, they will take an article, उसमें से एक para लेंगे, they'll take 4 sentences from that para, okay, उसको jumble कर देंगे. फिर जो हमारा odd one out है, जो हमारा let's say the 5th sentence है, उसके लिए they can do the following. Either they can Google the keyword. In 4 sentences में क्या keyword था, उसको क्या करेंगे, उस keyword से another article से similar keywords वाला कोई line उठा लेंगे आपको confuse करने के लिए. Okay, और what they can do is same article से कोई डिफरेंट पैरा से कोई लाइन उठा लेंगे, और इवन ट्रिकी करने के लिए सेम आर्टिकल से सेम पैरा से एक लाइन उठा के दे देंगे. ओके, सो ये 3 अप्रोच है. इफ आई वांट टू सेट एन ऑड वन आउट क्वेश्चन, आई विल फॉलो वन ऑफ द 3. So I will take one article, उसमें से 4 sentences I will take. एक sentence, for example, let's say the para is on William Shakespeare. So 4 sentences from one article I will take about William Shakespeare. One sentence I will take about William Shakespeare from some other article. Same article में scroll कर करके I will take off another statement. Or from the same para I might take a statement. Now ये difficulty level भी यहाँ पे बढ़ता जाता है. And odd one out का purpose, you know how to find the odd one out, that will also change. If they have taken another article says, you know, a statement, then what happens is, okay, so what generally happens is, you will be able to understand that these 4 statements, you know, which are taken from one article, will have a different theme or will have a different connection, or their purpose of writing would be different, और वो दूसरे article का जो statement है, that purpose of writing will be different. For example, 4 statements which are taken about William Shakespeare, उनका purpose होगा to explain how William Shakespeare was very loyal to Queen Victoria. One statement, like we did yesterday, one statement about William Shakespeare will be about his childhood. तो कीवर्ड तो दोनों में है William Shakespeare, but the childhood statement थोड़ा different लगता है because it is not relevant to the theme of the passage. So you will find here this is inconsistent with the theme of the passage, or there is some language inconsistency. Did you understand my point? It could also be that it contradicts the other statements, like the truth serum one that we did. 2 statements talk about truth serum, gives you examples of truth serum. One statement बोल रहा है कि there is nothing called as truth serum. So that nothing called as truth serum is contradicting the other statements. Did you understand? So it might contradict the other statements. Or you might just find कि अरे subsets ही नहीं बन रहे हैं. To build an odd one out, you have to form subsets. This is not, if a statement you कहाँ लगाएं इसको, कहीं बैठ नहीं रहा है, this is not a part of any mandatory pair, this is not a part of any subset, that could also become your odd one out. Did you understand the point here? Did you understand the point? It could either be contradictory, it could have a different theme or a different purpose, There could be language inconsistency, or it looks independent. It looks like it's not a part of any statement. Okay, any mandate, it's not a part of any subset. Now, if they are taking a statement from the same article but different para, ये थोड़ा tricky हो जाता है because the language will be similar. But what might happen is, maybe, how do you identify it is from a different para, so it might be talking about a different point. इसका भी purpose अलग हो सकता है, or it's introducing some new area altogether जो बाद में author explain करेगा. तो इस para के purpose से match नहीं हो रहा है, या कोई slightly different topic के बारे में बात कर रहा है. Did you understand my point? Slightly और specific है, slightly deviate कर रहा है. So you look for a deviation, either deviation in the theme, deviation in the purpose, or deviation in the topic. It might be introducing a slightly, yeah, there's a gap. Exactly, Mayank. Okay, then if you feel that all the statements are a part, this is the most difficult one. Same article, same para, but another line. So this might be, how do you find out? So in this case, arrange all the sentences in the right order, and either it can be the last one out or it can be the first one out, on the basis कि it is the least contribution वाला statement, कि उसको निकाल देंगे तो भी इतना फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. And I always give you the example of friends in this. So you have 6 friends, right? You have Joey, Chandler, Monica, Rachel, Phoebe, and Joey. Who did I miss? Chandler, Monica, Rachel, and Ross. Okay, I missed Ross. Sorry. You have 6 friends, and I always ask you this: if you had to take out one friend, who would have, who would be dispensable? Like, even if you take that person out, it will not make a lot of difference to the whole show. No, you can't take Rachel out. Then Rachel and Ross is the primary track, right? That will fall apart. You can't take out Chandler, because then Chandler and Joey ka track will fall apart, and then Chandler and Monica's track will also fall apart. So you can't eliminate Joey, because then Joey and Rachel's track was also there, and Joey and Chandler being Chandler's roommate. So that track falls apart. So basically, whom can you take out? You can take out Phoebe. So yeah, Phoebe. Phoebe would be the least, the dispensable one. So now, okay. I don't know, tell me like an ensemble where you have many characters and then someone's role was not even necessary, but they just put that person in. Wow. Rohan, what? Rohan, Sohan, Mohan, Ronan, and Tun. I don't. She is important, I'm not saying that, but if you had to remove one, even if you remember Prachi, there was this episode in Friends, right, where they talk about, Rachel even mentions that if you had to remove one, or if someone were to, separate from the group in the future, it would be Phoebe, because she lives like really far away. I've not seen Game of Thrones. ठीक है राहुल एग्जांपल छोड़ो आपको टॉपिक समझ में आया ना ठीक है नॉट वॉच फ्रेंड अच्छा आई देन गिव मी सम अदर शो आई मे नॉट हैव वॉच ठीक है ये छोड़ो बस रिमेंबर कि लीस्ट कंट्रीब्यूशन है या उसको हटा देंगे तो भी इतना फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा बिकॉज ईदर इट्स अ रेपिटेशन or it's not really adding anything to the passage. Okay, right, got it guys. Okay, who's your favorite TV show character? I have not seen Avengers. Hawkeye, not seen Avengers. Chota Bheem में ढोलू मोलू. I've not seen Chota Bheem also. I'm not like. Okay, who's your favorite TV show character? Favorite TV show character of all times, not necessarily a current TV show. Tarak Mehta, Jethalal. Jethalal. Arey, it seems very popular, na? A lot of you also change your DPs to Jethalal and come. I've observed that in the special classes. Which show, Karthik? Good one, Rahul. Yeah, of course I do, Rajiv. Correct, Devajit. Exactly. Shinchan is another favorite. Doraemon. Who's Anupama? Game of Thrones, often black. Rahul is mentioning names of people in the class. Good, Ishan. I'm a TV show character. That's good, guys. Okay. Chalo. Correct, Mayank. Okay. That's why the character itself is being taken out. Okay, so guys, did all of you understand this? Clear with this? So next time odd one outs of apples or oranges के basis पे आप नहीं करोगे, you will build subsets. You will find a statement which does not fit into the context, which is not a part of any mandatory pair, which contradicts the other statements, or which just does not go with the theme. Okay, got it, guys? Did all of you understand this? Chalo, next one. But before we go to the next one, guys, it's very important for me to remind all of you, Ruko, this is not applicable abhi. एक second, I will got it correctly. Very good. Okay, वो offer था guys, but अब खत्म हो चुका है. If you've not utilized it yet, फिर भी I would encourage all of you to take the subscription. एक second, para summary पे बाद में आएंगे. First, let me tell you the importance of taking the subscription. So guys, now it's very important that all of you take the CAT subscription jaldi se. When you take the subscription, you get unlimited access to the entire CAT portal. Live classes, recorded sessions आप बाद में देख सकते हो. Tests and quizzes. This is very important. Okay. Then ask a doubt feature where you can raise your hand and you can ask a doubt. Right? GDPI का help मिलता है when you take the iconic subscription and you get notes. Guys, जल्दी से subscription book करो because you can see that amazing batches are starting. You can also download the sample notes for CAT if you haven't already done so. The sample notes are free modules which are available, which are curated by best educators, Quant, LRDI or VARC के लिए. You just have to enter your information on Unacademy Learning app and you can download the notes. Okay, so guys, jaldi se subscription book karo these prices and don't forget to apply the code RITUMBA in order to get 10% off on these prices. Okay, please choose your plan in such a way कि CAT cover हो जाए और METS cover हो जाए, जैसे आपका SNAP, NMAT, ZAT, IFT cover हो जाए एंड आपका GDPI और GK प्रिपरेशन भी कवर हो जाए. तो जब तक आपके एडमिशंस नहीं खत्म होते तब तक आपको ये सपोर्ट की जरूरत है. सैंपल नोट्स में कार्तिक कृतिक इट्स अबाउट टॉपिक के जो कॉन्सेप्ट्स होते हैं दोज आर देयर इन सैंपल नोट्स विद क्वेश्चंस एज वेल. ओके, यस. नहीं अनुज, मतलब वो जो क्लास में एक्सप्लेन करती हुई है. Okay, right guys, let's come to para summary. We'll try out एक दो question guys. I'm sure you're bored of just listening to, not bored of course, but okay, tired of just learning concepts. एक दो questions करते हैं. चलो, one question guys on para summary and then I'll explain what para summary is all about. Come on guys, first question. On everyone. It's there in the description below, Kratik. Come on. Okay, guys, let's understand the question. Can you type your answers? It's a para summary question. You select an option which gives you the gist of the passage. Okay, guys, the right answer to this particular question is 3. Let's understand this. Many animals perceive their environment through the UV, a light invisible to humans. Recreating the visual perspectives of birds by taking images of naturally vegetated environments in both UV and visible light. One second. Yeah, the right answer is 3. Scientists have understood that images of the leafy environments were surprisingly low contrast in green channel, and the UV channel had uncovered additional contrast between the upper and lower leaf surfaces because the natural illumination is much brighter from above than below. The light intensity difference is exaggerated in the UV because leaves can transmit a lot of visible but almost no UV. The low contrast resulting in green color hardly serves any purpose for birds with an ability to see UV light. But guys, it's clearly given. Okay, you tell me, why is A wrong? See, this is the key, that they perceive their environment or they navigate using UV. Hardly serves any purpose is irrelevant. What is important is this effective navigation or perceiving the environment or spatial details using UV. Completely alien to humans, that's not even the key idea. And it says animals do not perceive that light. No, humans do not perceive that light. Okay, so today, Alankriti, we started at 10 a.m. Usually my daily timings on YouTube are 5 p.m. But on weekends, I kind of mix it up a little bit. And I inform you a day in advance. You can join the Telegram channel, Unacademy _ Ritu Dudhoria, in order to get the details. Okay, so now guys, when it comes to para summary, what you have to understand is you get a paragraph in which you get options. You have to read the options and you have to decide which option is summarizing or giving the essence or the gist of the passage in the best possible manner. Now, one thing is that no option in a para summary question will be perfect. No option is perfect. It's all a process of comparison and elimination. That is the key. So how do you eliminate answer options? Exactly, Rahul. How do you eliminate answer options? You eliminate answer options either because they are incorrect or they are incomplete or they are irrelevant. Now, why is it incorrect? Why is it incomplete or irrelevant? The reasons are provided in this one slide. Just take a minute, go through this and then I'll explain. Come on. Come on, guys. Okay. So it can be incorrect, it can be incomplete, or it can be irrelevant. Now, why is a passage incorrect? Because it contradicts, either it contradicts what's given in the para. Let's say the para does not talk about this, but the option says this. Okay, so either it contradicts the para, it changes the meaning of the para, or it distorts the para. It might be a distortion. For example, the passage says few people have attended the ceremony, but the option says many people or some people have attended the ceremony. तो जनरली मॉडिफायर्स जहां होते हैं, क्वांटिफायर्स जहां होते हैं, वहां पे डिस्टॉर्शन हो जाता है. और guys, try and avoid options which I'm not saying eliminate it, but try and avoid options which give you examples or unnecessary statistics or percentages. Dates are allowed. I'm not saying talking about dates here. Or quotations. When I say quotations, mean someone else's words. A para summary should be in the author's own words. So do not select an option which gives you verbatim what someone else has stated in a quote. For example, अगर passage में दिया है कि tell me a famous quote, guys. Okay, let's say be the change you wish to see in the world was quoted by, let's say, Mahatma Gandhi. You cannot select an option which says be the change you wish to see in the world. Okay, because that's directly that's directly महात्मा गांधी के words. वो किसी और का quotation है, वो आप वहाँ पे directly लाके नहीं लगा सकते हो. So avoid statistics, avoid examples. But if you feel that the other options are completely distorted या पूरा idea या meaning ही change कर दिया है, then fine, you can go with an option जहाँ पे example है. Okay, got it, guys? Then if you find an option where main points are missing, or the context, the place, the time, etc. is not mentioned, basically incomplete है, try and not go for that. But every option will miss out something or the other, so it's a process of comparison by selecting the option जो सबसे ज़्यादा points देता है. Definitely you cannot select an option जिसमें what is not mentioned in the para. A lot of times I ask you guys, ये para में कहाँ है, ये para में कहाँ है, and Surojit always says it's there in the options. कहाँ देखा कहाँ. So you cannot select an option जिसमें ऐसे points है जो paragraph में ही नहीं है, because it's irrelevant. So it's all a process of comparison and elimination. जितना passage में दिया है उतने को ही summarize करना है. Additional points नहीं आने चाहिए. Meaning distort नहीं होना चाहिए. The meaning should not change. Important points should be present. Compare and see which option gives you more points, and try and avoid options which give you examples or quotations or statistics or any sort of idioms or flowery language. Got it? Did all of you understand this? Now, para summary is very similar to essence of the text. Now, what exactly is the difference between para summary, essence of the text, and author's position? Is students generally misunderstand कि अरे para summary में क्या करना पड़ेगा, essence of the text में क्या करना पड़ेगा, author's position में क्या different करना पड़ेगा. आपको कुछ different नहीं करना है. Difference between the three, that is difference between para summary, essence of the text, and author's position. The difference is in the way the question is framed and the options. Difference वहां पर है. Difference is what the paper setter will have to do and think about, not you. Author's position में जो question आता है आपको या जो para आता है, that will generally be opinionated in nature. The author has written the para to prove a point, or the author has written the para with an opinion in mind, or the author has written a para with an argument. So the para will be very opinionated. But maybe the type of question that you get in para summary or essence of the text may be just about facts, a little bit of opinion. ऑप्शंस भी इसमें ऐसे होंगे जिसमें ऑथर का टोन पकड़ना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि व्हाट इज द रीजन, व्हाट इज द ऑथर्स आर्गुमेंट, व्हाट इज द पॉइंट दैट ही वांट्स टू मेक. You don't just have to give the gist or you don't just have to summarize. It should author का perspective आना चाहिए, and that's the way the questions are framed. So your approach is not different, it's just that the question pattern is a little different. Essence para summary में maybe the options can be a little lengthy also. Essence of the text में generally crisper होता है because you want that essence, the main idea. Here in para summary you can have options which give you main idea plus sub ideas also. But in essence of the text you're looking for an option crisp होते हैं ना, so you will mainly be looking for the main idea. Did you understand the difference? Author's position is more about the author's tone, more about the author's main point, more about the author's main argument. Essence of the text is more about a crisper option which gives you the main idea. Para summary could be more about the details. Okay, also. So it's generally the way the question is framed or the options are framed. But that does not mean para summary may you choose the longest option or essence of the text may you choose the shorter option. No, your approach will not change. I'm just saying that paper questions कैसे type के आएंगे. Got it? Did you understand the difference between these 2 points? No, if on the web, that you'll have to access it on the web. App आप phone पे download कर सकते हैं. The author's position will be more about what is the author's the central idea and the tone. Why the author has written the passage, what is the purpose, what is the main point that he wants to make, what basically कि उस author का perspective क्या है. Okay. Right, let's go to the next one. Next question, guys, para completion. Now, para completion is not very frequently asked in the CAT examination these days. Pehle, it was a very frequently asked questions and you used to get a lot of questions on para completion. So it is an important area nonetheless. Para completion में क्या होता है? आपको एक para दिया जाता है. Okay, one line of that paragraph is missing or it has been deleted. You have to select from the options which is that missing line or which is the deleted line. It could be the introduction which has been deleted, it could be the conclusion which has been deleted, or it could be a statement in the middle also. Got it? So there are endless tones, about 50 or 60 Celine that are important. Okay, now para completion may, please just go through this once and then I'll explain it. There are 3 methods to understand which is the missing statement: contextual method, language method, and logical method. Please go through these points and then I will explain this. Come on, take a minute. On everyone. On guys. Just give me 30. Hello everyone, welcome back. So sorry for the disruption. Okay, have all of you gone through these pointers? Pani Dhruv. Okay. Now, when it comes to para completion, there are three things that you have to. Hey, wow, Abhishek. Okay. So, what you have to focus on is you have to focus on three things. You have to focus on context, you have to focus on logic, and you have to focus on language. See, you have to understand that one statement from a para has been deleted. तो जैसे उस पूरे पैरा का लैंग्वेज होगा या कॉन्टेक्स्ट होगा वो इस पैरा में भी होगा, इस ऑप्शन में भी होगा. Okay, now context. Understand the place and time. If the para is about India, choose an option which also talks about India. Para is about the 19th century. Select an option which talks about the 19th century or maybe the future. Always focus on the preceding and succeeding sentences for links. For link. Because it will be a continuation. Logical. Now you have to understand that you don't just have to continue the para, you have to complete the para. So if you have to complete the para, there should be no doubt left. So if there's a problem, maybe the option will give you a solution. If there's a question, maybe the option will give you the answer. If there's a cause, the option might give you the effect. If the question talks about past and present, the option may talk about the future. Of course it can, Nitish. Of course it can. But try and select an option which is as close to the flow of the question as possible. Hey Anuj. We'll continue till about 12:30 because there are a lot of topics to complete. Language. Focus on the tone. Is it positive, negative, neutral? If the entire para is positive, select a positive option. Or if you want to go with a negative option, there should be a word which justifies the change in the tone. Let's say but, yet, though. Okay, try and select an option which is consistent according to the language as well, the style of writing, the kind of words that the author has used. Okay, it's very easy to identify a para which might be written by, let's say, a Shashi Tharoor and a para which might be written by, let's say, Chetan Bhagat. The language is very different. Chetan Bhagat's language will be more colloquial, more conversational, more college lingo, okay, more informal. So try and select an option which mimics the language, the style of writing, the tone, the context, the topic. Okay, clear with this everyone? Got it? Like I'm sure by now, you've attended so many classes on Unacademy that you know the style of each educator. So next time if you just hear, if you just see a line written which says, hello everyone, welcome to the session, good to see all of you join in, how are you all doing today? And you're asked to point which educator says this, you'll easily be able to say it's me. Because that's a standard, that's my standard opener. वैसे हर एक educator का अपना अपना style होता है, and that kind of sticks on. Yeah, correct. Similarly, I know your styles as well. Someone who comes in and says, good morning, Ritu ma'am, welcome to the session. Let's get started, ma'am, is Ishan. Someone who says, wow, sample notes, it's Rahul. Someone who says, hello, Mrs. So-and-so G is Shubham. Someone who says, good morning, which is Ritu or something, that's Pratham. I know everyone. Kashish, her style of poems. And, her sweet comments. Nupur with her hi-fi English. Abhishek with his right answers. Surojit with next question, please. Akshit with promoting the code Ritu MBA. So, and all of you have your unique styles. Someone who's, yeah. So I can sort of figure it out now. Muggy, correct. That's Nupur. Right, Pooja with her, language for which I have to give disclaimers in my class. Right, so everybody has a characteristic style and you just need to kind of identify what's the author's style and select an option which is closest to it. Got it? Did all of you understand this? What's it out? Yes, Nitish, I will. Okay. Come on, guys, let's go. So remember the mantra for para completion is correct, cakewalk. Cakewalk as well. Okay, so guys, remember it's para completion and not para. So everyone, Naman, I don't. Naman also, na? Yeah. And next with next question and yes, Ishan. Okay, so remember it's para completion and not continuation. No, Rahul, it's the drill noise. I think there's construction going on above. Okay, guys, let's try out one question. Come on, try this out. Para completion, the last statement is missing here. Come on, everyone. Yes, Nitish. Come on, everyone. What does that mean, Ishan? Of course I am. Come on, guys. Analyze it carefully. Okay, guys, the right answer to this particular question is D. Okay, let's check this out. Now, Hanu belongs to the Panyan sect, one of the more backward tribal groups in the Welmunda village in Wayanad. She never went to school. From the age of 7 to 14, she worked as a domestic help, ironically, at a school teacher's house. Now, why is it ironic? Good one. Why is it ironic? Okay, coming back to the question, why is it ironic? Because she never went to school, but she worked at a school teacher's house. At 14, she went to work in a field on daily wages and soon joined the CPIM drawn by its egalitarian. Egalitarian means equality. Guys, you become very sarcastic, all of you. Okay, now if I say she quit the party, why? Why did she quit the party? So this leaves a question unanswered and therefore it does not complete the paragraph. Why did she quit the party? Why didn't she continue with the party and work for the upliftment of tribals? It was the beginning of a crusade. A crusade means a revolutionary campaign. Now see the jumps. Okay. Now when you crusade for what? What? It was the beginning of a crusade. This is a continuation. फिर आप बोलोगे कि किस चीज का crusade? Whether it was for women upliftment or whether it was for tribal upliftment or what was it about? So this also does not necessarily complete the para, it opens up the para further. She emerged as the tallest leader. Now see the time jumps. You talk about when she was born, 7 to 14, at 14, and soon joined. See guys, focus on language, soon. So probably by the age of, let's say, 18, 19, that age. She emerged as the tallest leader. That will happen much later. The passage takes small time jumps. And soon के बाद क्या आएगा? Later, she egalitarian ideology. Party's ideology or ideal. See, it's so linked to the previous statement. So she realized that the party's ideals were only limited to rhetoric. मतलब सिर्फ बोलना है, करना कुछ नहीं है. Okay, so that's why the answer option is D. Correct. D and then A. I understand Rahul, but then soon and later के कारण this is the next statement. Okay, I've got a lot of weird, comments and compliments, but this is the weirdest. Your teeth is looking cute. This is the weirdest comment I've ever got. Okay, come on guys, focus on the question. No irrelevant statements. Chalo. Got it everyone? Did all of you understand this? Rhetoric means सिर्फ speech था. मतलब they were limited to rhetoric means सिर्फ speech देना, बोलना, करना कुछ नहीं. You reveal yours, Rahul, then I'll reveal mine. क्या आपके टूथपेस्ट में नमक है? Okay. Good afternoon, guys. Hi, Raman. Welcome to the session. Okay, let's continue. Hello. So this was para completion. Acha, you revealed also. I'm not going to reveal. Okay. Because your comment now, I mean, will not go on, notice. Imagine an educator sharing on YouTube class what toothpaste she uses. That will become, meme material for a lot of you. Egalitarian means equality. Correct, man. Okay. Guys, I've told you about the CAT subscription features. Jaldi se lo, and don't forget to apply the code Ritu MBA when you subscribe. Okay. And right, guys, shall we move on to critical reasoning? Or okay, see, we have to cover critical reasoning. We have to cover reading comprehension. We have to cover fallacies. We have to cover FIJs. Okay, so we'll have it, of course, in part 2. So, guys, critical reasoning thoda sa bada chunk hai. I want you to be fresh while we take this up. So, RC and CR. For RC and CR, I will continue with this on Monday. Today, can we do a new topic? I don't think any of you have done fallacies with me before. Shall we take up fallacies instead? Shall we take up critical reasoning when we're a little fresher? Critical reasoning tones. Okay, we'll take this up when we're a little fresher. Okay, just as something funny, can you tell me what is the tone of this particular article? The tone based question. थोड़े questions करते हैं guys tone पे, fallacies पे भी आते हैं. I'll come to it, Rahul. Okay, चलो guys, एक बार ये पढ़ो और बताओ tone क्या है. Guys, this is the Telegram channel का. Please make sure that you join it. Have you taken a break in your preparation, Raman? I will come to that also. That's the second thing that I'll ask you. Hello, first one. The Philadelphia Chronicle publishes the following pleasant notice. If the gentleman who yesterday at the 10-pin alley of Navigation Inn took through mistake a fine new blue tight blue coat in exchange for the shabby threadbare article he left, will leave his address at the inn at his leisure. He can have the coat altered to fit him exactly, as the loser is an approved tailor. मतलब मैं टेलर हूँ, आप मेरा कोट उठा के ले गए हो, आप प्लीज वहां पे आ जाओ और आपको चाहिए तो मैं कोट फिट करके दे दूंगा. And look at this also, through mistake. Tell me what is the tone? Rahul, shall we connect on Monday? I'm so sorry, is that fine? Yeah, yes, yes, Ashwitika. Satire. Nay, you don't want to bring about a social change. What social change? But Rahul, 2 बजे वापस special है, तो I have to prepare for your quiz. That's why. Otherwise, I would have connected. Okay. Guys, the tone over here is wit. This is clearly verbal humor. The way the words are put, you could have just said that, okay, someone's taken my coat, please return it back at the inn. But the way it is framed, it's verbal humor. It was taken through mistake. New coat in exchange for a shabby, threadbare article. Leave the address at his leisure. The loser is an approved tailor. The way it's clearly verbal humor. It's wit, cheeky one-liners which create a very funny or an amusing effect. Got it? Did you understand this? So this is clearly this is the tone over here is wit. Okay, can you tell me what type of a sketch is this? What do you call such a sketch? What do you call such a sketch, guys? आइंस्टाइन का क्या है ये? What do you call such a sketch? It is intentional. No, no, he meant it in a very funny way. That's why he's put it in that way, Jitin. Now, Rahul, any resemblance to you? Guys, this is clearly an example of caricature. अगर आप देखोगे तो exaggerated features, so such droopy eyes, bada nose, such shabby hair, it's a very exaggerated sketch. So that's why this is called as a caricature. Okay, got it, guys. Have you ever got your caricature sketched? Like you have these artists, right? They sit by street corners or, nowadays in malls and everywhere you find them, public events, they make you sketch in a very, jaldi se. Have you got your sketch ever made? Kashish, I love your illustrations. Yeah, I know. I think your friend makes it for you, right? The illustrations even for your poems. Said, yes, Rahul, what is your grave concern? I will treat your grave concerns in a very flippant manner from now. Okay, come on, guys, let's go to the next one. We'll come back to tones in tomorrow's class, I mean, Monday's class. अच्छा, nice, Kashish. मैंने नहीं ड्रॉ किया राहुल अगर मैंने ड्रॉ किया होता ना I don't know you have you seen my drawings this is far from what I can ever accomplish. Oh wow, that's really nice. Do share it sometime. Save matlab serious. Okay, guys, the elite batch for CAT 2023 just started yesterday. Please make sure that all of you enroll in it. All 2023 subscribers definitely enroll. It's by Sagar sir, Ronak sir, and Deepika ma'am. The classes will be conducted till October 23, and all your entire syllabus will be completed. No, Mayank, that is not what you call what I do. So guys, the perfect score batch for CAT 2022 is also here. Those are CAT 2022 subscribers. You want to up your preparation game, you're struggling, you're clueless, you're directionless, or you've realized that you've started really late and then you want to cover your syllabus really quickly. And guys, this is the batch that all of you need to enroll and without fail, apply the code Ritu MBA without fail. Okay, right, come on. Now guys, let's start with fallacies. Okay, One minute, guys. Okay. So guys, this is an example of ad hominem fallacy. सिर्फ ये ध्रुव सिर्फ एक 10 fallacies है वो खत्म करते हैं. Ad hominem fallacy. Okay, now what do you mean by the ad hominem fallacy? Padho. See, these slides are self-explanatory. I've created them in such a manner, but let's quickly discuss it. Okay, it's a personal attack on someone's character or motive rather than an attempt to address the actual issue at hand. Now guys, I'll ask you this. I'm sure all of us have heard this statement. Tell me if you agree. Have you heard this being said? Let's say there's an important discussion going on at home or elsewhere and you give your point of view. It could be at school, it could be at college, or, you give your point of view, you try to make an argument, you try to give, your point. But instead of telling, okay, that your point is not that valid or your point is illogical or finding flaws with, let's say, your point of view, they dismiss you by saying that, अरे तुम अभी तो बच्चे हो, तुमको ये सब नहीं पता है, तुम चुप रहो. You're clearly just too young to understand. Correct? So what they've done over here is they have not addressed your argument or they've not addressed your point. Instead, what they've done is they've made a personal attack on you. Issue को छोड़कर they've personally attacked you. Okay, let us say you give someone an opinion about marriage. Okay, and they say, अरे तुमको क्या पता? You've never been married yourself. So that's you understand how it's a personal attack on someone. आप उसके ओपिनियन को ठीक है बोल लो कि ठीक है ओपिनियन गलत है ओपिनियन ठीक है उस पे कमेंट करो. But instead what you're doing is you're commenting on the person directly. It's a personal attack on the person. You try to talk something, give your opinion about something educational and then says अरे तुमको क्या पता तुम तो स्कूल ही नहीं गए और तुमको क्या पता तुम तो 10वीं पास हो. So you should not. So this, instead of addressing the actual issue at hand, you're making a personal attack. That is ad hominem fallacy. Got it? Did all of you understand this? Yes? One minute. Okay, guys, ये वाला गलत है. Fallacy means mistake. The second one is not ad hominem. This should be strawman. Okay, strawman's fallacy. ठीक है, ये इसका नाम strawman होना चाहिए. Now listen to this. Someone takes another person's argument or point, distorts it or exaggerates it in an extreme way and then attacks the extreme distortion. For example, if he says, I think pollution from humans contribute to climate change. He just says, I think pollution. So Adya, you will be given a statement or you will be given a conversation and you will be asked to identify. For example, they can give you this statement. And they can give you this statement and they can ask you what fallacy is this called. These kind of questions have come in the XAT examination very frequently. They'll ask you to identify what type of fallacy or flaw it is. Okay, so I think pollution from humans contributes to climate change. So you think humans are directly responsible for extreme weather like hurricanes. देखो कैसे exaggerate करते हैं इसको. तिल का क्या बोलते हैं तिल का ताड़. Okay, or yeah, राय का पहाड़ or something. Okay, to make a mountain out of a molehill. Right. So you think humans are directly responsible for extreme weather like hurricanes and have caused the droughts. If that's the case, maybe we just need to go to the southwest and perform a rain dance. So the person has not even said that. You have distorted it, you have misunderstood it, and you have exaggerated it. And you have made it into some other big issue. Okay, got it? So this is called as a strawman's argument, fallacy. Clear? Did all of you understand this? So ad hominem is a personal attack. Strawman is just remember mountain out of a molehill. Okay, exaggeration and distortion. Okay, next one. Appeal to ignorance. Appeal to ignorance. मतलब अभी तक हमको इसके बारे में कोई proof नहीं है. अभी तक we do not have any evidence about it, so it must not be true. For example, let's say we've not yet discovered a cure for AIDS. So you conclude that a cure does not exist. Right now nahi hai na, but that does not mean that the cure does not exist. No one has ever been able to prove. There's no proof that ETs exist. So you say they must not be real. So if you're ignorant about something, or if you don't have knowledge about something, that does not mean that it's true or false. Maybe you don't know it yet, or you have not found it out yet. Got it? Did all of you understand this? Okay, so far nobody has discovered, where, who James's parents were. So we will never be able to find out. So that's appeal to ignorance. So far you've not been able to so far you've not been able to do it. That does not mean that you will never be able to do it, or that it's not true, or that it's false. Hi Dia, welcome to the session. Got it? Clear with this? Hey guys, give me some feedback. Yes, no, then I'll know whether to stop, explain, continue explaining, or move on. Comprehending. Surajit, stick to the topic. Next question. Okay, Celine, what is, अगर अभी तक हमको किसी चीज के बारे में नहीं पता है, इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि वो एग्जिस्ट नहीं करता है. अगर मैं बोलूं कि अभी तक हमको पता नहीं है कि दूसरे प्लैनेट्स पे जीव रहते हैं या नहीं, तो हम बोल देंगे कि नहीं रहते हैं. अभी तक पता नहीं है ना, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि नहीं रहते हैं. तो अभी तक इग्नोरेंट हो तो अज्यूम मत करो. मोस्ट प्रोबेबली नॉट ट्रू. नो नितिश, नॉट यूजुअली. नेक्स्ट वन, बट 10 ही है गाइस, इट्स गुड टू नो. अच्छा, I took it as a chance to I took it up as a chance to display the example for ad hominem fallacy, a personal attack on someone. Terrestrial means land. Extraterrestrial is ET, आपके aliens. Next one, false dilemma or false dichotomy. Dilemma and dichotomy means confusion between two choices or between two options. It's also called as black and white fallacy or either or fallacy. Okay. Now, for example, ऐसे दिखाते हैं कि आपके पास दो ही ऑप्शन है और कोई चॉइस ही नहीं है लाइफ में. For example, if I say either you clear the CAT examination or you fail in life, that's a false dichotomy. Either you love me or you hate me. Not necessarily. There could be something in the middle also. You may just be tolerating the person, or you may just like the person. Okay. Either we go to war or we appear weak. So you're creating like a false situation. For example, either you come with me or I'm never talking to you again. Okay, got it, guys? Yeah, you act as if there's no middle ground. Okay, about 12:30 Sahili. Okay, next one. Slippery slope fallacy. This one's my favorite. Just go through this. I do this a lot. Something that Dia will agree. इस पे आपको स्टेटमेंट दिया जाएगा और आपको पूछा जाएगा कि कौन सी टाइप की फैलेसी है. Guys, anybody else is guilty of slippery slope fallacy? You kind of overthink things and make it really big. For example, like you tell your mom, you have to let me go to the party. If I don't go to the party, I'll be a loser with no friends, and then I'll end up living alone, and then I'll be jobless, and I'll be living in a basement till I'm 30. The issue is that you're not allowed to go to a party, and then you ये होगा तो ये हो जाएगा, फिर ऐसे हो जाएगा, फिर वो हो जाएगा, फिर मैं क्या, like, oh my god, I'm gonna end up living alone and in the basement. I'm gonna die alone or something of that sort. Been there, done that, right? Wow, Rahul. Thank you for enlightening all of us. आप नहीं बोलते तो पता नहीं चलता, आप इतना नहीं सोचते। सोचना चाहिए राहुल। अगर मैं ओरियो, यू नो व्हाट यू शुड थिंक राहुल, अगर मैं ओरियो पकोड़ास बनाऊंगा और उसमें कुछ गड़बड़ हो गई और किसी ने खा लिया और वो उसको कुछ हो गया और उसको हॉस्पिटल जाना पड़ा और उसने मुझे सू कर दिया और फिर मैं मुझे इतने पैसे देने पड़ गए एंड देन आई एम broke and then I'm what do I do and then I'm living alone in the basement of my parents till I'm 30. You should think that. I know. I know, Surajit, I kind of got that because I do this a lot. Exactly, Abhishek. Hello, Naman. Where were you? Welcome to the session. That slippery slope fallacy. मतलब slip slip कर करके आप कहीं का कहीं पहुंच जाते हो. No, Mayank. That would be considered something else, and probably there's a medical term for that. Stomach friend. कहीं की बात कहीं ले जाना. Okay. I don't think anybody will forget this. Next one. Circular argument. No, Ishan, we don't. One circular argument. Go through this. Next one, guys. Come on. When a person's argument is just मतलब circles में घूम रहे हो आप. You're not exactly reasoning. You're saying the same thing over and over again, just in a different manner. For example, theft is against the law because it's wrong, and it's wrong because it's against the law. मतलब क्या हुआ? What is your premise? The same thing you have उसको तोड़ मरोड़ के reasoning दे दी. So you're not arriving at any new conclusion. Same चीज को घुमा फिरा के बोल रहे हो. Okay, for example, I scored less in the examination because cat is not easy, and cat is not easy because see, I scored less. तो मैं तो इतना intelligent हूँ, but I scored less, so cat is not easy. तो घुमा फिरा के बोलना. That's called a circular argument. Next one. So the names are kind of self-explanatory, but examples are very important. Next one. Exactly, Mayank. Perfect, Surajit. Next one. Hasty generalization. X is true for A, X is true for B, therefore X is true for everyone. Okay, Mayank got the question right, Ishan got the question right, so the question is easy and everyone should get it right. Saheli, you will have to join through the Unacademy learning app. में जो हमारा session का link है 2 बजे का, I will post it on the Telegram group Unacademy_Ritu Dhudhoria and you can join in from there. आपको लिंक मिल जाएगा, आपको एक कोड पूछा जाएगा, सो एंटर माय कोड रितु MBA RITU MBA. ओके, या तो आप ऐप पे जा सकते हो और आपको मेरी क्लास लाइव दिख जाएगी, तो आप उसको भी वैसे भी ज्वाइन कर सकते हो. एंड यू कैन ऑल्सो फॉलो मी ऑन अनअकैडमी ऐप, तो मेरे जितने भी क्लासेस होते हैं उसके नोटिफिकेशंस आपको मिलते रहेंगे. ओके, नेक्स्ट वन. General, if a person travels through a town for the first time and sees 10 people and all of them are children, you conclude that अरे इस गांव में तो सभी बच्चे हैं. This happened with me once. I was going with someone and the person says that there's a dog on every street. There are so many street dogs, and you just assume that the city is filled with street dogs. Okay, so you're generalizing. You're making a blanket statement. एक बार हो गया, दो बार हो गया तो आप बोल रहे हो हमेशा ऐसे ही होगा. एक जगह दिख गया, दूसरी जगह दिख गया तो आप बोल रहे हो कि हमेशा ऐसे ही दिखेगा. Next one. This is very important, guys. You ought to know this whether you take that or not. You ought to know this, guys. Come on, everyone. Red herring fallacy. Red herring is actually a type of fish, if I'm not wrong. You're misleading or distracting from the topic. Okay, for example, the businessman is trying to convince that I'm not going to give you raise. Sure, we haven't given raises in over 5 years to our employees, but we make a good product and best customer service. मुद्दा कुछ और है, आप लेके कहीं और जा रहे हो. Raising tax का justification दे रहे. We need more revenue to support the programs that we have. Children are our future. Let's support children. अब suddenly children कहाँ से आ गए यहाँ पे? फिर एक बात को घुमा दी, distract कर दिया, topic से हट गए. पलड़ा झाड़ने वाला बात. Defending one's own policies. I have worked hard to help eliminate criminal activity. Political speeches जब होते हैं या political interviews जब होते हैं, तब आपको ये issue बहुत दिख जाएगा. For example, they might be talking about, the interviewer might ask the politician a question, let's say about what have you done for women's safety uh, in your state, and the politician might end up saying, "Arey, women's safety, okay, but see, we've made so many highways, और हमने मेट्रो लेकर आए, या हमने इतने highways बनाए हैं, या हमने ये डेवलप किया है, इतना डेवलपमेंट." So you're drifting, and this is something that you will really find a lot in different interviews. Correct. Yes, Naman. At 2, the quiz 1, and then followed by the explanation class at 3. Okay, next one, guys. You too, et tu, brute. Appeal to hypocrisy. We've all done this. We've all said this. No, 5 p.m. nahi hai. We've all said this to our parents. Okay. They tell you, why are you doing this? Why are you drinking tea? Why are you drinking coffee? And you say that you're doing it. Aap kar rahe ho, to main kyun nahi? Sort of a thing. Okay. But so did you. You're pointing fingers. Okay, you're pointing fingers. Okay, clear with this, guys? Next one. You stay out late, why can't I? Sort of a thing. Next one. Causal fallacy. Event A happens, event B happens, you link the two and you say that they are happening because cause and effect. I remembered 2 dialogues इसके पीछे. एक तो वो song है ना, I think movie का, मैं करूँ तो, can't say it, but okay, you do it, it's fine, but मैं करूँ तो, that one. And also I think there's a very famous meme about, कि तुम्हारा कुत्ता Tommy and मेरा कुत्ता कुत्ता, something like that. Anyway, causal fallacy, come on. Correct. Yes, Suruji. ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਕੁੱਤਾ Tommy. ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਕੁੱਤਾ. Okay, causal fallacy. Okay, yesterday I walked under a ladder with an open umbrella indoors while spilling salt in front of a black cat. I forgot to knock on wood with my lucky dice. That must be why I'm having such a bad day today. Most of the superstitions. A cat crossed my path. I failed in the exam. I failed in the exam because a black cat crossed my path. Event A happens, event B happens, not necessarily that A is linked to B. Okay, your parents saved you harvest. They must be farmers. Okay, clear? Did all of you understand this? Okay, guys, question. Do you all like your name or would you want to change it if given a chance? Do you like what your parents named you? Has anyone got their name changed? Not the surname, I mean, have you got your name changed? Your first name? नितिश, इसका मतलब ये होता है कि एक चीज होती है, दूसरी चीज होती है, और आप बोलते हो कि पहले के कारण दूसरी हुई है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल एक काली बिल्ली रास्ता काट जाती है और आप एग्जाम में फेल हो जाते हो और आप बोलते हो क्योंकि काली बिल्ली ने रास्ता काटा इसलिए मैं फेल हो गया। आप ये नहीं देखते हो कि आपने लाइफ में कभी पढ़ाई नहीं की है, बट यू काइंड ऑफ लिंक द टू टुगेदर। व्हाट इज दैट, सुरजीत? No for what? No for name change or no for you don't like the name? First question, do you like your name? What is that? You have to also explain. I'm very happy with my name. No, I haven't. I'm shocked that you have seen it. I imagine you sitting at home watching, foreign language films or intellectual films and then commenting on them and passing certain sarcastic jokes which people sitting next to you must just laugh on to not look like they are not intelligent enough. But Jitin hi to hai. Am I getting it right? Correct, Ashish. Nice name. Okay. I wouldn't change someone. I love my name. Save series as friends any day. Honesty, Rahul. Appreciate that. Chalo, let's go to the next one. Fallacy of sunken costs. How many of you have done this? How many of you are guilty of this, guys? Come on, tell me. How many of you have done this? It used to be really fun. I hope you don't mean it without the E in Hindi, Surajit. होगा आद्या. Exactly, Abhishek. Okay, you order too much food, everyone's done it. You just have to eat. Okay, one reason could be an honest reason is that you shouldn't waste food. That's good. If you're just eating it to get your money's worth, no, I mean, अब पे कर दिया है तो खा ही लो, मतलब that sort of a thing. So fallacy of sunken costs is because you've invested so much time or money or effort on it, you just don't want to leave it. An example of this is something that you should not do in the exam with para jumbles. Just because you've spent so much effort on it does not mean that you have to answer that question and come. Naman, attend the first half of 1 hour of this session. We've discussed all the rules about it and then be a part of the practice exercises. Okay, next one. Appeal to authority. सब ads यही करते हैं. Okay, कोई मतलब someone who's not even a doctor, who's just an actor, will come with a lab coat on and experts ने बोला है, doctor recommended, सचिन तेंदुलकर सुबह उठ के ये पीता है तो हमको भी यही मिल्क में मिला के पीना है or whatever. Okay, so you give a testimony, हाँ correct. तो अथॉरिटी, और आप बोलते हो कि अथॉरिटी ये कर रहा है तो हमको भी यही करना है, एक्सपर्ट recommended. That is called as appeal to authority. Clear, guys? Are all of you following this? Yes? Correct. 10 minutes. I think there was a joke on this also, right? In Friends, if I'm not wrong, Surajit. The 10th one has caved in. Chandler says that. I don't know if you remember, if anyone remembers it. तो 10 में से 9 का दावा है. Okay, that's basically appeal to authority. Next one. Appeal to pity. Happens all the time, especially when someone asks you for a favor. Emotional appeals. You should hire me because I really need the money to support my family. No, you should hire me because I'm good at what I do or I'm qualified for the job. वो नहीं बोल रहे हो आप your appeal to pity. Correct, Rahul. Okay, officer, please don't give me a ticket. I was rushing home to help my spouse care for a sick child. Okay, so you're appealing to pity, you're trying to draw at the emotional strings. 2 p.m. Anshul. Nah, no, not that episode, but that's also funny. Okay, so you're making an emotional appeal. We've all done this. We do this all the time with our parents, especially when we want something. Okay, you try to appeal to pity. Next one. Bandwagon fallacy. Majority is always valid. मतलब majority. सब कर रहे हैं तो मैं भी करूँगा. सब, it's like appeal to popularity. It's the most popular thing to do and that's why you're going to do it. So everyone's doing it. You can do it too. Okay, got it guys? That's called as bandwagon. मतलब भेड़ चाल. Start watching it, Rahul. Good one, Mayank. Your appeal to very good. Correct. Going the way where most people go. True, Adya. Okay, clear with this guys till here? Any doubts? Okay, guys, let me remind all of you that it's very important to prepare for the CAT examination and giving previous year questions is the best way to do it. These are free mocks with 600 plus PYQ questions. All you have to do is enroll for free. AIMT, tomorrow, 12 p.m. Ritu MBA code, 2 hours, CAT pattern. Get the feel of the actual exam, guys, and live leaderboard. Do not miss it for anything. Okay, so guys, quickly, ये सारे fallacies है. एक second में I'll revise. Ad hominem, personal attack, appeal to ignorance, अभी तक नहीं पता तो सही नहीं है या अभी तक नहीं पता, no proof, you conclude. Strawman, तिल का ताड़, false dilemma, either this or that. Slippery slope, कहीं का कहीं ले जाना. I remember one student had given the example, मतलब tagline for this, Kashmir to Kanyakumari. सर्कुलर आर्ग्यूमेंट घुमा फिरा के वही घूमते रहना. हेस्टी जनरलाइजेशन, एक के लिए सही है तो सबके लिए सही है. रेड हेरिंग फैलेसी, मुद्दे से हटना. डिस्ट्रैक्शन, डिस्टॉर्शन, मिसलीडिंग. यू टू, आपने किया है तो मैं भी करूंगा. कॉज एंड इफेक्ट रिलेशनशिप बनाना, इवेंट्स को कोरिलेट करना व्हेन एक्चुअली देयर इज नो कनेक्शन. अब दे दिया है, इतना टाइम लगा दिया है, इतने पैसे खर्च कर दिए हैं तो चलो यूज करेंगे. एक्सपर्ट रेकमेंडेड. Emotional appeal rather than appealing to reason. Bhed chal. Got it? Did all of you understand this? Guys, clear with all the different types of fallacies? Yes, I hope all of you have understood this. Okay, so guys, planned a lot for today's class, but it's okay. I don't want to rush things. I want to take it slowly. So guys, can you repeat what all we have done today? Okay, today we discussed the concepts of para jumbles, discussed the concepts of odd one out, para summary, essence of the text, author's position, para completion. We looked at the different types of fallacies. So basically VA हमने आज cover किया है. Okay, in Monday's class we will take up critical reasoning, reading comprehension. So critical reasoning में assumption, inference, conclusion, strengthening, weakening, parallel reasoning, boldface, FIJs. Okay, all of it. I will brief you a little on vocabulary and grammar as well. Okay, but our main focus in Monday's class is going to be on critical reasoning and reading comprehension. Monday also, guys, we will have the class at 11. Let's keep it at 10 a.m. Okay, I will inform you 10 or 11, but let's keep it at 10 a.m. Monday. Okay, Monday same time. Or abhi guys, don't forget special class at 2 p.m. Okay, without fail, attend the special class at 2 p.m. Okay, we're going to do a quiz followed by the explanation at 3 p.m. Clear with this, everyone? Yes, got it? Okay, so don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the session, guys. Unacademy CAT 2021 toppers and I am converted candidates on your screen. Next time, I want to display the slide Unacademy CAT 2022 toppers and I am converted candidates with all your names in it and with all your faces, display pictures and names of such prestigious colleges in front of your name. All you have to do for that is attend the sessions regularly. See you all at 2 p.m. guys. Take care everyone. Attend the plus classes. Do take the subscription. Do not forget to apply the code Ritu MBA. I hope you all really benefited from this session. Please save the link whenever you want to revise concepts. You can just go through this video. It will really help you because it's a complete VA guide. Jumbles, odd one out, para summary, author's position, essence of the text, para completion and fallacies all in one place. Okay, be ready for the test, guys. Refresh yourself. I will see you at 2 p.m. for the test and then 3 p.m. for its explanation as a part of special classes. The links will be shared in the group. Do follow it. Of course, Abhishek. Welcome. Thank you. I would love to have you as a part of the Achievers Meet as well. Okay. Take care, everyone. इसमें एक दो क्वेश्चंस लिए नमन, बाकी सब एक्सप्लेनेशन ही था, बाकी सब कॉन्सेप्ट्स ही थे इस वीडियो में. हाँ, done, Rahul. When you get into I am, now I'll give it to you. Wherever you say, in that case, I will sponsor. Okay. Take care, guys. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Take care, guys. Bye-bye. Bye, everyone. Done, नमन. बोलने में क्या जाता है ना? Done. Carrot and stick approach. Hello. Take care, everyone.